Hi everybody, tonight I'm making Marry Me Chicken. Sorry I just moved it back, you don't need to be that close to my face. This is a BBC Good Food recipe. It's dead easy, and as I said before, I'm going to show you a few quick shortcuts and a couple of tips of mine. So let's take a look. So firstly, I'm serving this with pasta. So I have got mini fillets, mini breast fillets. They're cheaper than diced chicken, and they're already the little nice tiny bits. And I've cut these up with scissors because I don't really like handling the chicken too much. So I use scissors, but make sure you wash them before you start on the birthday presents. Okay, so over that, I'm going to sprinkle the flour. I'm putting it all in the trays, save washing up. And I'll give that a toss about with some salt and pepper and get that ready for the pan. So I've got my chicken here coated in flour. I've got my red onion. I've got my sun-dried tomatoes and my garlic. And I'm just getting my pan hot. Now, I haven't got any fresh basil. This recipe requires fresh basil and some Parmesan cheese. So what I do, here's a little cheat for you. What I do is use pesto. Pesto is made from basil and Parmesan cheese. So because I live out in the middle of nowhere, having things like fresh basil is, unlikely to ever going to happen. So I'm just popping all that chicken in. This floured chicken. Get rid of that. Sorry about all the clattering about. And I'm just gonna let that brown. Give it a toss. So that's actually cooking in the sun-dried tomato oil, because sun-dried tomatoes come in oil, so you're as well to use that, get the flavour. And I'm just gonna let that cook, and we'll come back to that in a moment or two. So as you can see, the chicken is browning nicely and it's shrinking up, becoming firm, so that's cooking. Now the BBC Good Food recipe says cook your onions separate, take your chicken out, cook your onions separately. I don't do that because it's just another job to do, isn't it, taking things out. So my onions are going in alongside the chicken and they'll soften quite happily along there. So I'll bring you back again when the onions have softened and we can do the next stage. So this has all been cooking for a few minutes. You can see the onions are soft, the chicken's brown. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add the sun-dried tomatoes, the garlic, the chopped thyme. If you haven't got any fresh thyme, just add a little bit of dried thyme. If you haven't got any of that, don't worry about it. I'm going to add all that in, and I've also put my dried chilies in there as well, just a little pinch of dried chilies. I'm going to just mix all that in, and then the next thing to go in will be my stock. I added a tiny bit more sun-dried tomato oil out the jar, just because it dried up a little bit, so that's fine. It smells delicious, I promise you. So now I've got my stock. I'm going to add that in. I'm just putting the whole lot in. And I'm just going to let that all get to know each other for a minute or two. And I'll be back. So as you can see, it's thickening a little bit. That's because of the flour. What I'm going to do now, which isn't in the recipe, but I do it to nearly everything I cook like this, is I'm going to put some frozen spinach balls in. Any opportunity... Sorry about the cat. Hang on. Hi! We're doing Marry Me Chicken. Shush. Any opportunity to get some green into the dinner, I'll put it in. So I'm just going to let that sort of defrost a little bit before I add my next thing, which will be not cream, but a little bit of high protein Greek yogurt. Okay? So this is my nearly finished Marry Me Chicken. You can see the chicken is cooked, obviously cut open a little bit, have a look at it to make sure the spinach is cooked, everything else is cooked. I'm going to add Greek yogurt, not cream, just because if you want cream, that's fine. but I'm going to I'm going to add a big dollop of Greek yogurt. This is high protein Greek yogurt, 10% fat. I'm going to stir that in. I've taken it off the heat because I don't want it to be too aggressive. And I'm going to stir that all in together. The yogurt will melt to create lovely sauce. You may need to add a little splash of water, matter for you. Now we're having this with pasta, so I'm not too worried about adding any water. But then the other thing I'm going to add, as I said before, is my pesto. Now this takes care of the basil and the Parmesan cheese. I need 2 hands for this, so I will be back in a second. So this is it. This is my finished Marry Me chicken. Now I know it's greener than usual Marry Me chicken, but that's because it's got spinach and pesto in. And if you've got basil and Parmesan cheese and you want to use that, that's absolutely fine. All that's left is it needs a little squeeze of lemon juice. I've tested it, I've seasoned it, and it's delicious. And we will have this with some pasta. Now, don't forget, I said this is the BBC Good Food recipe, but adulterated by me. But you can adulterate it too. Just chop and change whatever you like. It'll be grand. So if you've enjoyed this, don't forget to subscribe. Have a great evening.